Change is hard, especially when you didn't ask for it. And it can bring up feelings of resistance, that wishing or wanting things to go back to the way they were, or fear of what's to happen, or even grief for that loss of what was. But when we resist change, we're often create more stress for ourselves. So what if instead we learned to sit with change, to sit in that discomfort of change, to accept what is, even when it feels really uncomfortable? Hello and welcome. And if you don't know me yet, my name is Betsy Dwight, and I am an EFT tapping practitioner and a mindfulness educator. And in today's video, will be sharing 3 different types of mindfulness practices that will help you cultivate a feeling of acceptance during a time of change. And these mindfulness practices will help you get through and sit in that discomfort so that you can meet this change with a little bit more grace and ease. The first mindfulness practice that I will talk to you today about is grounding in the present moment. When we are facing an unwanted change, our mind often tends to jump towards the future or back to the past. And we think about how things used to be, or we worry about what might happen next. But a grounding practice helps get you out of that spiraling mind and into the present moment. So, this very simple practice is something that you can do anywhere at any time. Okay. So, take a deep breath in and out and look around you. Name 3 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, and 3 things you can feel. This simple practice engages your senses. And when you engage your senses, it brings you right back into the present moment where that change that you're going through doesn't quite feel so overwhelming because you're getting out of the stories that your mind is creating. And it's bringing you back into reality, into the moment, into the present. The second mindfulness practice is observing without judgment. So, when we're going through a change, we often label this change as good or bad based on how it makes us feel. But what if you just observed the experience without that judgment? So, closing your eyes and thinking about the change that you're going through. And as you're thinking about it, notice any emotions that are present. So instead of pushing them away or analyzing them or trying to make sense about them, just name them, saying to yourself, I feel anxious. I feel uncertain. I feel frustrated. I feel worried. Whatever it is that you are feeling, give a name to it and let those emotions just be there without needing to fix them or change them or make them go away. This is a practice of allowing, that is making space for whatever is present, whatever is happening. And it's welcoming those feelings without being in a place of resistance. And finally, the third mindfulness practice involves bringing in self compassion so that you can move towards a place of gentle acceptance. So sometimes when I say the word acceptance, it can feel really jarring, especially when you're face to face with a change that you didn't want. However, acceptance doesn't mean that you have to like the change. It simply means that you stop fighting against reality. You acknowledge that the change is here rather than being in that place of wishing or wanting for things to go back to the way they were. And sometimes the best way to move towards acceptance is through self compassion. So, placing a hand on your heart, taking a deep breath, and saying to yourself, this is hard, and I'm allowed to feel this way, and I'm doing the best that I can. So, with this self acceptance, we are just acknowledging what is, that this is hard, and that that's okay that we're having a hard time. So, imagine giving yourself the kindness that you would give to a close friend who's going through a tough time. or a similar change. So the more we soften towards ourselves, the more we can soften towards this change. Change is not easy, but when we can meet it with mindfulness, we are able to come into the present moment, which gives us a little bit more space for growth and transformation to happen. So I invite you to try these 3 practices during the week and see how they shift your experience with the change that you are going through. And if you're ready for next steps, be sure to stay tuned for my video next week, where I will help you mentally reframe the change that you are going through a lens of self-compassion and some journaling practices. And check out my video from last week where I guide you through an EFT tapping sequence to help move through those feelings associated with an unwanted or unexpected change. And finally, I would love to know which of these practices resonated with you. You can let me know in the comments, or if you have a mindfulness practice that really helped you, please share so that we can inspire each other. And give this video a like just to let other people know that they are not alone when they are going through that unwanted or unexpected change. And please join our community by subscribing to this channel. We would love to have you here, and I will see you in the next video, and please take good care.